right here on Penn's Peak Radio on the Wall to Wall Country Show, just a few minutes after the second hour of the show. Quick shout out to our sponsor, First Northern Bank and Trust. Their community, your commitment. Check them out at 1stnorthernbank.com. So I mentioned to you guys earlier that I was so excited that I have one of my BFFs on the phone. This lovely lady is actually very close to me. Very, very close. As a matter of fact, she's so close, she lives in the state next door. Or at least goes and visits there now. I don't think she lives there anymore. But so happy and excited. This lovely lady's been on the show a couple of times. So excited to hear about the new things that are going on, as all my artists are always welcome back. And Miss Kayla takes advantage of that, and I'm so glad she does. One of these days, Kayla, you and I are going to hook up. We're going to get hooked up.
Yes.
We were so close.
We were so close, like days apart.
Days apart in New York City, no less.
Yes.
Yeah, so you were just home recently.
I was. I went home. I just celebrated a birthday, so my good friend planned a birthday trip, and we went to New York City for a little bit of it, and then went to visit my family in New Jersey. So it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. But you don't live in Jersey too much anymore. You're more down in Nashville now?
Yes, I live in Nashville now. I just go back, and I try to visit as much as I can and go to New Jersey. But, yeah, live in Nashville, so it's fun.
Nice, nice. We're talking to Miss Kayla Calabrese back on the show for another visit, and I don't want to spill the beans, but I know we're going to be chatting in a couple of months again, but we'll get to that in just a minute because you have some exciting news about 2017. Yeah, so we'll talk about that in a second. But Kayla, now you're kind of interesting. Yes, you're a country music singer and songwriter, but you've also got a couple other branches going on there. Why don't you give a quick scenario in case folks may have missed your other interviews, a little bit about yourself, what you got going on, and how you went from Jersey to Nashville, which we've already mentioned. Because you've definitely got an interesting background, a little bit more than, I was singing since I was a kid and I moved to Nashville. You got a little bit more going on there, Kayla. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, just a little. I was one of the kids who would, sing when no one was home or no one was listening. I would sing in my room, and I was too scared to tell anybody that I wanted to sing or pursue a career in music just because no one in my family is musically inclined at all. So,
I'm sure they appreciate to hear that. She didn't get her talent from us. What? Wait.
They didn't. I did. They are not musically inclined. So, but I went and saw Wicked on Broadway actually in New York City when I was 16, and right then and there I was like, all right, I need to tell my mom or somebody that I want to make this happen because I'm getting older and it's just not going to happen if I don't say anything right away. So I told her during intermission of the show that I wanted voice lessons, and she was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a favor because you're seeing this amazing Broadway show. But I kept bugging her, and she finally took me to go get voice lessons, and the rest is kind of history. I moved to Nashville about 5 years ago to pursue this dream of mine. So
Nice. Now, it's funny because I read your bio, and I'm not so sure I've ever heard this term before. Maybe it's pretty popular, and I'm just kind of living under a rock. But I like the way it was written that you were a hairbrush singer when you were a kid.
Yes, I did. And I remember vividly singing into a hairbrush and just thinking, I wish this was a real microphone. Like, how cool would it be if I was holding a real microphone and there were people sitting in front of me, listening to me sing? And I remember thinking that every time I would hold a hairbrush. So
that's pretty awesome. Now, so you did, but you also went to nursing school, so you kind of had a backup plan just in case the music career didn't work out.
Yeah, I didn't want to freak my parents out too much, saying, hey, I'm going to go to Nashville and pursue a music career, and I'll wait tables while I'm doing it. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, that's awesome. But I went to nursing school as well, and I remember visiting Nashville one time, and I drove by Belmont University, and I was like, I'm going to go to school there. And my mom's like, whatever, you have no idea, and anyway, so I ended up going to Belmont. I applied there and got in, so I went to nursing school while pursuing music, and I also work as an ER nurse now, currently.
Oh, you're still working as an ER nurse?
Yes, I'm staying super busy with both things, so.
I think, you know what, now that you said that, I kind of remember, I think we chatted about this the last time, about one of the things you do is you sing in the hospital and help you do sing to some of the patients and help them feel a little better. Am I remembering that correctly?
So we talked about if I did that, and I told you I did not do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'd be kind of weird. Like they're in the ER for a reason, and I start singing to them.
Okay, I knew we had this conversation. I just couldn't remember which way it went. Maybe I just want you to do that. One of these times I'm going to ask you that.
You wanted me to. You were like, you should sing to all your patients, and I was like,
Well, music heals. I'm just kind of
music does heal. Music does heal. But.
So, but whether you sing to your patients or not, you've actually been doing quite well. Now, you've had some success with some music already that was out there, including one of or your first single, a little something called Kiss Me, maybe?
Yes. Yeah, that was my first single. Good job. That's awesome.
Yeah. And now you've put out some other music since then, right?
Yes, I put out 3 more singles since then, not including some Christmas stuff, but
right.
And they've all done fairly well. My latest single was Happily Never After, and it was that cynical Disney song. So that did really well, and then the one before that was Give, which I loved. So.
And one of those has significant meaning for, see, in my brain, I'm trying to think if it's something to do with kids. There was something special about one of those 2 songs.
Yes. With Give, I was able to do a bunch of charity work with
right.
that, and, give back,
right.
no pun intended, or actually pun intended, but so I did things with Toys for Tots
right.
and during the holidays last year, so that was a lot of fun, and I love getting to do that. So
yeah. Now, I remembered bits and pieces about that too, and I knew it had something a little bit more significant impact than. I mean, not that it is single out there doing really well and all that's great, but when you can take a song and use it as a vessel for something else. And I remembered you had done something similar to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I always look to do something like that with any single that I'm releasing or any event that I'm doing. I try to make it about something else. So anytime I get to do that, I go for that for sure.
Now, you have an EP out right now, and it's still doing well, The Glass Stiletto, right?
Yes, that it is. And I love all of the songs on there. So anyone can go to iTunes, Amazon, and all those fun, sources and go pick up a copy.
Yeah. So that's your regular music. And now one of the things you've recently done, which is the reason for this interview, is something you've branched off and you put together some holiday music. Yay!
I did.
So
This is my favorite.
So this is awesome. I mean, anybody can put out holiday music, and it's one thing, to do some of the traditional ones, especially if you have like a favorite. But something that always intrigues me is, Christmas music has really branched. You still got all the good old, traditionals and the Nat King Coles and all that kind of stuff. But I love it when a Christmas or a new holiday or new winter song gets put out there. And you've got a couple of those along with some good old traditional stuff on your EP. Why don't you tell us how this all kind of came about, Kayla?
Yeah, sure. Well, I love, even if I'm, singing a show live, I like to pull in songs that people might not have heard of before, even if they've been recorded previously. So, and I also like to write new songs. So that's what I did on this EP. I did a couple songs that people probably haven't heard of. There are Christmas favorites of mine. And I also had the opportunity to write a Christmas song for this EP, which I was super scared of because, it's a Christmas song.
Right.
Any Christmas song I've heard of has been amazing. So I wanted to try to channel that, and I wanted to write a song that kind of had a different meaning and made people kind of stop in their tracks and think a little bit about their actions and what the true meaning of Christmas is. So, which is how I got the title of the EP, or the Christmas EP. And I wrote a song called "What Would Jesus Say," which kind of, when you hear it, you'll see. I like to kind of make people stop and think. So that's what that one is about.
Now, what is the title of the EP? I missed that part.
It's called True Meaning of Christmas.
Okay. And now, is this out? Can people get their hands on this?
Yes, you can, again, buy just digital copies right now on Amazon and iTunes and all of those digital markets. So.
And how many tunes are on this EP?
There are 6 of them, and all of them are some of my favorite songs, some that you may have heard of and some that you may have not. So.
Okay. Now, you were talking about, you wrote What Would Jesus Say, about a little kind of like slap upside the head of, kind of know what's going on and making decisions in your life and how it can affect people. Is that kind of the premise of this tune?
Yeah, it's kind of about, getting caught up. I mean, we all do it. We get caught up in the hustle and bustle of the season and needing to go out and get things for people, and it just kind of, it kind of makes you stop and think about what the true meaning and the real meaning of Christmas is, and that is about Jesus and his birth. So that's kind of what I wrote it about.
Awesome. Well, listen, I think what we're going to do is we're going to let people give this a listen. We're going to have to take a quick break and pay a few bills, but Kayla, can you hang in there for just a little bit?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, if you can hang in there, we're going to come back with Miss Kayla Calabrese with one of her two. Now, is this the only one you wrote on the EP?
This is.
Okay. This is one that you wrote, and it's on the EP, True Meaning of Christmas. You guys can get your hands on this on the Amazon, on all of them, like the Spotify and all those across the board there?
Yes.
Okay.
Everywhere.
Awesome. And again, this is Kayla Calabrese. We're going to be back to talk a little bit more about her and some of the music on this Christmas EP right after we take a break. You're going to hear her tune. The one that she wrote comes from the heart from Kayla, a little something called What Would Jesus Say, coming up in just a minute. It's Wall to Wall Country with me, Casey, and Kayla. We'll be back in a minute. And there you go. Back there we heard a little something from Miss Kayla Calabrese. What Would Jesus Say? That comes off of her 6-song EP, True Meaning of Christmas. And I think you nailed that one on the head when it comes to the true meaning of Christmas, Kayla. That was a beautiful song.
Thank you.
Very, very nice. And you wrote that. Now, are you also working with the musicians to get the sound the way you want it? I mean, how does that work?
Yes, yeah. I actually wrote it with a good friend of mine. His name is Brandon Hands, and he's actually from New Jersey. He was in Nashville for a songwriters event, and he came over and we wrote that song. So he's amazing at playing the piano. So he kind of came up with the piano part, and it was up to me when we got in the studio to kind of tell the musicians, no, I kind of want it to sound this way, or I want this to happen here. So yeah, I have a lot of say and stuff like that, which is great being an independent artist.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. And, I got to tell you, that one is really, really nice. And I think it's a nice addition to Christmas music of today. I mean, again, it's one of those things that you wrote from the heart. Was it kind of like a little experience, like you were out shopping and that kind of like came to you? Or is it something that, like, how did that come about?
Not really. I just, any time it's, Christmas and people are, running around angry, and it kind of makes me stop and think, everyone's stressed out and forgetting about, kids don't really, kids care about presents, but I think for me anyway, it was all about family all the time. So, if my parents weren't, completely present, that bothered me more than not having anything under the tree. So, that's kind of where I took it from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And, in today's society, that it's even harder. It's harder and harder. Both parents are working, they're both running, and the kids are getting, dropped off at places, or other people have to watch them, or they're latchkey kids, where they're, and it's tough. It's tough to make ends meet in today's society. So that's true. I mean, one of the best gifts in the world is, to me, quality time, is having, having the time, and it's, giving something that will get everybody together for a little event. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And, being present is better than receiving a present. So
right.
That's kind of what I was thinking when I wrote that song. And something to kind of make people stop and think. I love writing things like that. So I kind of hit, the nail on the head in terms of doing everything that I love to do while writing a song. So.
Yeah. No, I like it. I do. I like it a lot. And I think it's a good message thing, and it's a pretty song. I mean, even if they're just like, oh, well, it's a pretty song. it's just another great song. In our business, it's nice to get other Christmas music, like we were chatting before. If you're going to play Christmas music for 3 days straight, there's only so many times you can hear, we wish you a Merry Christmas, before it's like, exactly. Oh my God, I've heard that song 30,000 times now, But, as some artists are stepping up to the plate and writing some new stuff and getting it out there to radio, it helps us, to know it's like, hey, we've got a nice mix of music, and, you can hear some traditional stuff, which, of course, everybody loves, but then it's nice to mix it up with some of the newer stuff, too, and people go, oh, I've never heard that song before. I really like that one. That's great. Who sang it, and how can I get my hands on it? That kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Now, you do have some traditional music on here, and one of the things we're going to play another one of yours in a little bit, but you also have some traditional music on here, and I think we'll play one of those near the end of the show, just to remind everybody if they miss the show on Sunday. Now, the best part about this is my show re-airs on a Sunday, so my show is going to re-air on Christmas Day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is kind of fun, which is nice that people are going to be able to hear your music.
Yeah.
So we'll end the show with something that's a little bit more traditional. I mean, which one of these, of the traditional ones that you like, that you would like me to air at the end of the show?
I love "Oh Holy Night." That's like one of my favorite Christmas songs, and when I recorded it, I wanted it to just be me and the piano. So it's literally just me and the piano, and it's one of my, like I said, it's one of my favorites. So.
Okay. Well, we'll close the show out to that, to remind people to listen in the show on Sunday on Christmas. And I'm really trying to filter in a little bit more Christmas music, because it will be Christmas morning. People will be listening and waking up and open up presents. So it's nice to have a nice variety of holiday music for them. But tell us about one of the other ones that's maybe not quite as traditional on here. And we'd like to feature one more while we have you on the phone.
Sure. One of the other ones that I absolutely love is a song called "City of Silver Dreams."
Okay.
I love that one because like I said, I'm from New Jersey, and I love going to New York City during Christmas, just because there's like magic in the air there during Christmas, with all of the lights and the windows and ice skating, and obviously the tree in Rockefeller Center. So that's one of my favorites as well, just because it's all about New York City during Christmas time.
Yeah.
And I just was there, so I literally just experienced it, and I love bringing people to New York that have never been during Christmas. I say, if you're going to go to New York, go during Christmas time, because it's beautiful.
Yeah, we do a Christmas trip, and we took 3 busloads of people into the city on Sunday, and hooked a bunch of them up with some tickets for the Rockettes show. So
nice.
some of them went to go see the show, and then other folks just walked around or bought tickets to another show or whatever. Yeah, so we were just there, on the 18th. And you're right that, I'm a country mouse, so I go into the city, it's a little overwhelming. The buildings are really big, and there's like lots of people. And it's almost like walking into a casino where there's lights and there's sound and there's this and there's that, and all of a sudden your senses get a little overwhelmed. You step off the bus, and it's like whack! It just smacks you right. It smacks you
exactly,
truly right in the face. But if I'm gonna say I'm gonna go into the city, I really think you hit the nail on the head when you say Christmas is a good time. People seem a little softer. It's hard for New Yorkers to be soft, but
yeah,
I think they do. I think there's a lot of them that were definitely, like, you bump into them, and instead of them growling and, going along their way, they would be like, oh, I'm sorry, Merry Christmas. And it was just really cool,
And if someone does something to you and they're angry, you just be like, Merry Christmas, and then you can't be mean to that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think people need to say that more often. It's like just for shits and giggles, you go get gas and you pay your thing. It's like Merry Christmas, and I really encourage that. And I have a post out on my Facebook. It's like, do something nice for someone today, but don't tell them you did it. Just do it because it's Christmas.
Just do it because, absolutely.
And New York City is definitely, oh my God, the sparkles, the glamour. And you know what, the other thing that amazes me about the city is how it changes as the day goes on. Into the night.
Yeah, it's like literally night and day in terms of the decorations and just the lights. I mean, on all these buildings now, they have those light shows that are programmed to music.
Yeah,
it is incredible to watch that.
Yeah. Did you see the one by the skating rink? The one that was between the 2 buildings on the side?
Yes, and that has the clock, and
Yes.
I think it goes off every 5 minutes or something like that, and or every 10 minutes, and it like counts down.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, it is incredible.
The colors on that were just amazing. We stood there and we watched it and watched people go skate. I want to skate down there one day, but it's always like the line so incredibly long.
Yeah. Well, me and my mom and my friend, we went down there. We went and saw Waitress, the Broadway show, which was amazing. It was so good. I recommend it to anybody who goes to New York. But and then we went out at like 11:30 down to Rockefeller Center to see the tree, and it was not crowded. We could have gotten right on the skating rink.
Oh.
We ended up not doing it because it was so cold.
Yeah.
But that is the time to go at like 11:30 at night, like right before.
Oh, at night you went?
Yeah. 11:30
okay.
at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people are still skating, but there's no lines, and there's not as crowded as it is, during the early nighttime.
Oh, that's cool.
My roommate, we went skating in Central Park instead.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The city's definitely got, its charm at certain points, and you get all the crazy characters walking around down by Broadway, and it's definitely a different feel, and it's fun. And all the shows, of course, are amazing. We went to go see Lion King, my sister and I. We went, and that's another one. Boy, that's a great, amazing work that they do with that show there.
Oh yeah, it's like the costumes are incredible in that one as well. It's crazy.
I mean, you're getting top notch entertainment there when you go and do a Broadway show for sure. So it's really kind of cool. So this song is about New York City, and now this is not one you wrote though.
No, this is not. I wish I had though. It's brilliant.
Mm-hmm. And how did you come across this song?
I forget who originally sung it, but Sugarland actually did a version of this a long time ago. It was when they released one of their Christmas albums, and I remember hearing it for the first time, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly how I feel about New York City during Christmas time. Why didn't I think of this song? But I fell in love with it, and it's one of the staples that I listen to during Christmas. So.
Awesome. I love the little jingle bells in there.
Yes. Thank you.
I love the little jingle bells going on in the background, the whole song. That is so pretty, and it's great. It does. I mean, if you've been to New York City, you know about the big star, you know about, it was like I was back in New York City. It was great.
Yeah, well, thank you. It was one of my favorites, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really great song, and that's another one that is on Miss Kayla's EP here. Remember, you want to look for this on all the socials or all the electronics, the Amazon, the Spotify, and I'm assuming they can find information also through your website, right, Kayla?
Yes, on www.kaylacalabrese.com. There's links to all of my social media, all of my music, photos, videos, everything like that. So, yeah, everything's on there.
Yeah, and you can find her a little bit more information about her. I mean, you've got a couple of check marks here: singer, songwriter, nurse, musician, philanthropist. You're doing pretty good. What's the situation with the tour? Are you going to be doing some holiday touring? Are you going to be doing some stuff in 2017? Tell us what's coming up for Kayla Calabrese.
Yeah, no holiday tours, unfortunately, this year, but I'm hoping next year we're going to kind of amp up for the holidays and maybe go out to a few places and do that. But so that for 2017 during the holiday season, and I'm planning on releasing a new single in March. So that's to be announced what single it's going to be, but it's going to be very upbeat and summery. So
okay.
I'm super excited about that, and I'm getting back into the studio to record some more stuff for you. So a lot in 2017, but it's going to be awesome.
So yeah, I mean, and they can find all the information about your other music that's out there, the Happily Ever After, the Glass Stiletto, and all that stuff is also on your website. And now this new EP, True Meaning of Christmas, is on there as well, and they can give a listen to some of the tunes if they like it. Of course, they can do the Spotify and all that stuff. 6 songs on this EP. Very excited about that. You got some new stuff coming out in March, and I'll give a little quick wink, nudge, nudge. I believe you're already back on my schedule in March to talk about that new music and what you've got in store for 2017. So very excited about that.
Yes, I can't wait. I love talking to you. So
Unless we can actually talk your people into allowing you to come to Pennsylvania.
listen, I really am I'm gonna look into it for sure. Maybe in March.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, in March, because Ann just scheduled it, so I already have a date for you.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Awesome.
That's set and ready to go.
And I'll try to make that an in-person one this time.
That would be really, really cool. And so, you said you're going to do some more touring. You got a new single coming out. Anything new and exciting you can kind of let us in on about, other than those two items for 2017? Anything on the bigger grand scale or other plans that you are cooking right now that you can tell us about?
Well, right now I'm just writing a lot and trying to get really great material for my next project. So I've already solidified a producer, and so I'm super excited about who I'm going to be working with. And nothing crazy, just recording and hopefully a holiday tour and definitely a new single. So.
All right. Well, we'll be looking for all of that for sure. Anything else you'd like to mention for the listening audience? We'll play another one of your tunes, but of course all your tunes will be in rotation for the rest of the holiday season off that 6-song EP, True Meaning of Christmas. Remember, you guys can get your hands on that either through our website at KaylaCalabrese.com or the Spotify, the Amazons. Just search Kayla Calabrese. And we're going to play one more tune at the end of the show, Oh Holy Night, a favorite of Miss Callas, and you'll be able to hear that coming up at the end of the show. But anything else you'd like to throw out there and chime in, let everybody, something you want to pass on quickly?
Yeah, absolutely. I just hope everyone has a great holiday season and stay safe and remember the true meaning of Christmas and try not to get caught up in all of the craziness. And I just hope everyone has a safe, healthy, and happy New Year as well.
Well, same to you, my friend, and, safe travels going back and forth between Nashville and Jersey for sure. And I still think you should put in some sort of singing program into the hospital, but I'm going to let you handle that.
I might have to do that. I might have to figure something out. I'll talk to the people I can talk to.
See what you can do to get a little program of at least maybe walking around in the children's department and singing and brightening a smile, putting a smile on someone's face.
That sounds like a pretty great idea, so I'll have to look into that.
See what you could do there. And hey, by the way, I'll take credit for that one.
Okay. Oh, no, I'll give you all the credit on that one.
Well, Kayla, it's always a treat and a pleasure listening to you and telling your stories about your music. And you are an inspiration for a lot of young girls out there. Let me ask you this. If you had some words of advice, I mean, you kind of come from a small town, you've worked your way into Nashville. You're kicking and screaming the whole entire way. You got some words of advice for maybe some young girls out there thinking they want to tell their mom they want to take singing lessons? What would be your words of advice?
Yeah, my words of advice would definitely be follow your heart. As long as you're happy, you're going to love doing what you're doing, and stay true to yourself. Don't let anyone change you. There's a lot of that in any sort of music industry or any town like this, and you have a lot of people who think they know what's best for you, but you know what's best for yourself. So stay true to who you are and don't ever change.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good words of advice. And it's tough. It's tough. It's tough to do that when there's so much influence out there. I mean, the social medias and stuff like that. But, you got to stick to your guns, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, you be safe in your travels if you are doing any more this holiday season. And I really hope to hook up with you soon. But for sure, we'll be speaking again in March. Looking forward to hearing about everything you have planned for 2007 coming up in the next couple months.
Absolutely, and thanks for all your support with my music always, so I appreciate it.
No problem. Miss Kayla Calabrese, make sure you check her out at KaylaCalabrese.com.